Hello and welcome, dear viewers. We're having a bit of a late start as no students have joined so far. However, I will just introduce this lesson and we'll continue to wait for a little bit. So this lesson is about mini debates. It's a new series that I'm starting. So in these mini debates, we learn new vocabulary, we discuss a certain topic, and then towards the end we have a debate, like a mini debate about this topic. And for this mini debate, we are discussing the right to die. Very controversial, and I thought it would be interesting to hear the students' opinions and for them to practice their conversation skills and get them to debate a little bit. So let us wait a little bit more. Hopefully they shouldn't take too long. And I see we have one viewer. Welcome to that viewer in the lobby. Yeah, for some reason no one has joined yet. But we'll just have to wait a little bit because this lesson can't really take place without the student. So hopefully they'll join soon. Okay, my dear viewers, no students have joined. Looks like they're all unavailable, or maybe no upper intermediate students are available right now. So let us just go through this mini debates PDF. So like I mentioned before, it's about the right to die. Yes, so we're supposed to discuss this topic with the students. So since there are none in here, we'll just go through the vocabulary and then we will read the text. So some of the vocab here, we have 12 words in total. So those who are watching this from the future, yeah, have a look at the words on the left and see if you can match them to the correct meanings on the right here, from A to L. So the first word, degenerative. I'll give you a few seconds to have a look at the definitions on the right. Yeah, so the first one would be B, causing gradual weakness or loss of use. So maybe somebody has a degenerative heart issue, for example. All right, number 2, life sentence. And in this case, it's a diagnosis. That means you're going to die. And it's used in law to refer to capital punishment, actually. So that's a life sentence. Third, we have assisted suicide. And assisted suicide would be E. Let me just move this along. Yeah. So assisted suicide is E, taking one's own life with the help of another person. So pretty much self-explanatory. Suicide is when you take your own life, but assisted is when somebody helps you take your own life. All right, moving on to the fourth, terminally ill. Terminally ill. And that's actually right next to it, D, having an illness that will lead to death. Yeah, so an illness that leads to death eventually. All right, foreigner, number 5. This is a common vocabulary, a common word among English learners, which means a person from a different country. If I was to travel to China, I would be a foreigner. Okay, qualify. Qualify means to be eligible to take part in or to receive something. Okay. So maybe you qualify for a certain position. You have the right credentials, you have the right education, qualifications, and so on. Okay, number 7, conductor. A conductor is a person who leads an orchestra. So the conductor is a person usually you see, I believe, with that stick in his hand, and he's conducting the orchestra. All right. Number 8. Diagnose. And this is a verb. So to diagnose means to determine what illness one has. So if you are really ill and you go to the hospital, the doctors need to diagnose you in order to find out what's wrong with you and to determine or find out what illness you have. Okay, number 9, legality. Legality means a requirement or indication related to a formal law. Yeah, something legal. You need to go through the legalities in order to resolve this issue. Maybe it's a legal issue or legal matter. Okay, number 10, pressure. So pressure can be a verb or a noun. In this case, it's a verb. So to convince a person to do something they may not want to do. So you may be pressured into doing something you don't want to do. Okay, 11, dignity. And dignity is the state of being worthy or a sense of honor. Yeah, you don't want to lose your dignity by doing foul acts. By doing certain action that might jeopardize your dignity. Yeah, so the state of being worthy or sense of honor. Okay, and the last one in the list here we have number 12, accompany. And the last one, we only have one left. It's A. So to go with someone or something. So to accompany, you might ask your friend to accompany you on your trip. Maybe you're having a, or you're doing a Euro trip, let's say. You're visiting many countries in Europe and you'd like your friend to accompany you. Yeah, that's how we would use it. All right, so on the right here we have some discussion, or rather, pre-reading questions, but there's nobody to, discuss them with. So those who are watching from the lobby or in the future who will watch this video, you can quickly have a look at these and, see how you would answer these questions. Okay, and just one thing here needs to be noted. It's from question 4. To put down something. That means to use a lethal injection to end an animal's life, usually due to suffering. Yeah. So to put a pet down, maybe due to a really bad illness, and so the pet would die in a painful way, so you need to put it down peacefully before it suffers any longer. Okay, so then moving on to the text. Let's have a look. I will read the text so you can follow me and read it to yourself while you're listening. Okay, so let's have a look. The right to die. In April of 2013, a Canadian woman said goodbye to her friends and family and flew to Switzerland to die. The 72-year-old woman had been suffering from a degenerative disease. Susan Griffiths felt her terminal illness was a life sentence. Before she went to Zurich to die, Griffiths asked the Canadian government to change the laws about doctor-assisted suicide. Like many other terminally ill patients, Griffiths would have preferred to die at home. Why do terminally ill people often go to Switzerland to end their lives? There is an organization there that provides assisted suicide to foreigners. You don't even have to be terminally ill to qualify for assisted suicide at this clinic. An English conductor proved this in 2009. So Edward Thomas Downs was almost blind and deaf, and he relied heavily on his wife to care for him. When his wife was diagnosed with terminal cancer, he decided to go with her to the clinic in Switzerland so they could die together. Some family members go with their dying loved ones to say their final goodbyes at the clinic. Others worry they will face legal charges just by traveling with them. Doctors are concerned about legalities too. Many don't want assisted suicide to be legal. They fear that if assisted suicide is legalized, disabled or elderly people may be pressured to end their lives early. Is dying with dignity a human right? Jackie Meacock, a British citizen who suffered terribly from pain, reminded her daughter that people often put pets out of their misery. If I were a dog, you would put me down. Why can't I have that dignity? Or why can't I have that dignity? Meacock's daughter agreed with her mother and accompanied her to Switzerland. Okay, so there you have it. That's the text about the right to die. So this is very debatable and controversial. Depending on the individual, some people may have different opinions of this. Some may agree, some may disagree, perhaps due to religious reasons or whatever else the reason may be. So let's look at these questions on the right about the text, some comprehension questions. So, why did Susan Griffiths go to Switzerland at the age of 72? So those who are viewing this video, try to answer the question with a complete sentence. So the answer would be Susan Griffiths went to Switzerland at the age of 72 because she was terminally ill and she wanted to die. So assisted suicide is illegal in Canada. That's where she's from. And it's legal for foreigners in Switzerland. So that's the main reason why she went there. Okay, second question. What request did Griffiths make to the Canadian government? Griffiths asked the Canadian government to legalize doctor-assisted suicide. Yeah. Third question. Why did Sir Edward Thomas Downes decide to go ahead with assisted suicide, even though he wasn't dying? So he decided to go ahead with assisted suicide because he relied on his wife for medical care. And she was diagnosed with cancer, so they both decided to go there. Okay. Fourth question. Why are some people afraid to go with their loved ones to the clinic in Switzerland? Some people are afraid to go with their loved ones to the clinic in Switzerland because they don't want to be charged with helping their loved ones die. Yeah. Fifth question. Why are many doctors concerned about legalizing assisted suicide? Many doctors are concerned about legalizing assisted suicide because elderly and disabled patients may be pressured into ending their lives early. It's right here. Okay, so the last question, why does the reading mention a pet? The reading mentions a pet because one woman pointed out that it's legal to put animals down if they are suffering from an illness. So she wants to have that dignity. Yeah. All right. So let's have a look at the next few exercises and then we will complete our lesson. So here is a vocabulary review. So read the following statements, 1 to 5. Do these sentences use the vocabulary accurately? Yes or no? And if it's incorrect, then rewrite the sentences to make them accurate. So the first one. A degenerative heart condition is one in which your heart gets progressively worse over time. Is that true? Yes, it is. That's true. That's what degenerative means. It gets worse over time. Second sentence, if you qualify for an organ transplant, you will get one. No, that's not true. So even though you qualify for a transplant, you may not get one if no organ is available. So you may qualify for an organ transplant, however, an organ needs to be found for you. There needs to be one available. Okay, so thirdly, prisons that offer decent food and shelter give prisoners a sense of dignity. Yeah, that's true, isn't it? Fourth sentence, a foreigner is a person who never leaves the country he is born in. No, that's actually the opposite. So a foreigner is a person who is in a country that he or she was not born in or is not a citizen of. Okay, and lastly, when you pressure a child to get good grades, he or she may begin to hate school. Yeah, unfortunately, that's true. So we have to be very careful with our children. not to pressure them, because they will start hating it. Okay, so we're doing the next one, B. So complete the sentence or fill the gap. So here, basically, we're using the same vocabulary from above. However, we need to watch the verb tenses and singular plural nouns. So we may need to change the words. The first one, the cancer diagnosis felt like a life gap to the athlete. Life sentence is the correct one. The cancer diagnosis felt like a life sentence to the athlete. Number two, we gap our mother to the clinic when she received the diagnosis about her degenerative condition. We accompanied our mother to the clinic. That's it. Number three, the gap took a bow after his orchestra performed. It's a person. It's the conductor. The conductor took a bow. Number four, due to some gap, we can't talk to the media about this case. Due to some legalities, legal matters or legal obstacles. So legalities. My uncle is gap ill. The doctors give him 3 weeks to live. My uncle is terminally ill. Yes. Terminally ill. Okay, so there you have it. Now the end of this is actually the debate part, so we can't really debate it, and no students are here to debate with. So some of the questions on the right also we have quite interesting for discussion. Should doctors be allowed to help terminally ill patients die? Should they be expected to do this? Or why is assisted suicide a crime in some countries, but suicide is not? Interesting question. And the third one, dying is an expensive business. Is it wrong for clinics to profit from helping people end their own lives? I wish we had students in here to discuss this. But those who are watching this, hope you can see if you can practice answering these questions, and try to maybe record yourself. It's usually good to listen to yourself speak in English and then see what you would improve on, or what you think you would have done differently, or how you would have answered the question differently from a grammatical perspective, and also just from answering the question correctly. Okay, there you have it. So thank you very much for watching. I hope you have a wonderful day, and goodbye.